Hello, this is Chris Coffey, Instructional Technology Coach for Bamberg School District 1. In this video tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make an animated GIF with your name in it. This is something that we did in Computer Skills Lab, and it's really fun and it's really easy. And more than that, it shows us some of the properties and some of the functions in Microsoft PowerPoint that we normally don't use, or that you'll begin to use as you do more advanced PowerPoints. So this is an example of what I've done. Yours will be similar, but let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open up Microsoft PowerPoint. I'm using 2010 version, and by default it'll come up to this slide. So what you're going to want to do is where it says title, you're going to type your name, and next thing we're going to want to do is go to layout and do title only. Now, layout is something you should become very familiar with. It's something that you'll use a lot. Now, for now, it's moved my title, my name up to the top, and we're going to change that. But before we change where my name goes, we want to change the format of the slide. Right now it's 10 by 7.5, and we want it a lot smaller because that would be a huge picture online. So we want to make it smaller, and the way we do that is we go to the Design tab. And I always tell my students, if you hear me say the word tab, you're thinking top. So on the Design tab, you're going to go to Page Setup. It's the first icon, and you can see some of the properties of our PowerPoint, including that it's 10 inches wide. So I'm going to highlight that, just click and drag over that, and I'm going to type number 2 because I want it 2 inches wide. And the height is 7.5. I'm going to change that to 2 as well. And then I'm going to click OK. So it doesn't look like it's changed that much. It looks like it went from a rectangle to a square, but this is significantly smaller, so that's exactly what we want. Now we want to start fixing our name the way we want it. So I'm going to click on the name, and if you see the dotted line and the flashing cursor, that means you're in the editing mode. I'm just going to bring my cursor down here, my mouse down here to the line, and I'm going to click on it so I get a solid line. And I want to go to the Format tab, and I don't need dictation right now. I'll go ahead and close that so we can see the bar more. This is the ribbon, and in the ribbon on the far right of the Format tab, we have a line. So if I click on that, I can say Align Center. It doesn't move. That means it's already in the center. And then I want to go back and align middle. And I want to do both of those just in case I moved it. I want it in the absolute middle. The next thing I want to do is I want to come over here to the squares on either side of my name and drag it out to the very edge of my PowerPoint slide. Because we want my name to fill up that entire slide. We want yours to do the same thing. Now, in this case, I'm using Chris, that's what I go by, but officially it's Christopher. Depending on the size of your name, we want to make it bigger, but I can't tell you what to make it because everybody's name's different. If I used Christopher, I would go to the Home tab, and this A with the up arrow, I'm going to click on it because, like I said, if I knew exactly what to tell you to put it on, I would just tell you to go here and go straight to that number. But since we don't know, we're just going to use that A with the up arrow to see how big we can make our name. And once you see that, once it goes to 2 lines, you want to click the icon right next to it to decrease your font size. And with Christopher, I can only get up to about 28. But with Chris, which is, like I said, if I can get it to highlight for me, with Chris, I can go a lot bigger. So I can get up to 66. Now, black on white is fine. That's a very easy to see image, but I want something a little bit more colorful, a little bit more fun. So I can still see that box around my name, even though my name goes outside the box. And I have my Format tab up here. If I accidentally click off the box, that Format tab goes away. But now I've got my Format tab back. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to use Word Art Styles. So with Word Art Styles, in class I tell you just to choose the ones that are pre-done. But if you're doing this at home, then feel free to come in here and choose advanced picture colors and textures and those kind of things. Same thing with the outline. But for now, I'm just going to pick something fairly simple. And there we go. Now, next thing I want to do is I want to fix a huge design problem. And this is something that students or people who are new to PowerPoint usually mess up on. They get really bad color schemes. The thing that's bad on this color scheme is my outline is white and my background is white. So remember, you want the opposite background to what your pictures, text, those kind of things are. So since my outline is white, I want something dark for a background. If I have a dark color, if this line were black instead, I'd want a lighter background. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to right click in this blank space and I get a menu. Notice if I click down here, if I right click where my name is, I get a different menu altogether. So if you see this menu, you've clicked in the wrong place. You want to click up here where it's blank and you're going to right click and you're going to format background. And the color, the fill color, is all we're concerned about right now. So our solid fill color is what we want to use. You can try using some of the things like the gradient fills, pictures, patterns. I would say be careful with that because it's already going to be animated. So if your picture is already a little bit noisy, a little bit loud, then the animation may make it go way over the top. But I'm just going to use a solid fill, and since I have a very white outline, I'm going to use black. Now I could use a dark blue or another dark color, but for what I'm looking for right now, I'm going to go black, and I'm going to apply to all, and I'm going to close. You want to do the same thing. And if I'm moving too fast, that's the joy of video. Just pause it, catch up to me, or go back and watch the video again, and that way you don't have to worry about keeping up with me if I'm going too fast. Alright, next thing we want to do is we want to add our image. And so to do that, anytime we're going to add something to a PowerPoint, we're going to the Insert tab, and we want to add a shape. And you can choose whichever shape you like. We had some specifically that we were using in class, but feel free to play with different ones if you want. And I'm going to choose a star. And what I'm going to do with this is notice the star doesn't automatically appear. If I were using a clip art, it automatically shows up. But with shapes, you have to draw them out and stretch them out. So I have this little crosshair, and I'm going to come up here to the top left corner so that my crosshairs are right in the corner, and I'm going to click and drag all the way down, if my mouse will cooperate, until my crosshairs are in the bottom right hand corner. And notice my star fills up the whole screen, and that's exactly what I want. The problem is I don't like the color, and I don't like the fact that it is in front of my name. So what I'm going to want to do now is I want to change the color, and I want to move it backwards. So it's hard to tell. It looks like the slide itself is selected, but the picture is selected. And that's really what you want. If you can't tell what's selected, if it's the slide, which you can't really select, or the picture, then you know you made your star or whatever shape you used exactly the right size. So I've got it selected, so I have my Format tab, and I'm going to click on my Format tab. And instead of using Word Art Styles, this time I'm going to use Shape Styles. Now, in class, we were in a hurry, so I told you to try to pick one that was already there. But especially if you're doing this at home, you have time to play. So you can do Shape Fill, and I'm going to do something like a yellow. And I don't think it's going to matter what color I do my outline. But again, colors that will stand out next to your background and your words. And then I'm going to go to Shape Effects. You can get very sophisticated with your shape effects, but the presets a lot of times will do a really nice effect for you. So I'm going to play around till I find one I like, and that's kind of neat right there. Maybe not. I'll stick with that one right there. Just something simple for me. And now I've got a color I like, but again, it's in front of my name. I'm still in this Format tab, and notice over here under the Arrange, in the Arrange section of my ribbon, all I have to do is click Send Backwards, and it will go behind my name. So at this point, this is where we're stopping for this first tutorial, and from here we'll figure out the rest. We're almost done. It's actually pretty easy from here on out. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at ccoffee@bamberg1.net.